giving the bully your lunch money doesn't make him go away, it just makes him come back hungrier each time.
One of my all-time heroes, comedic legend John Oliver, just put belt to ass and went scorched earth on Donald Trump and ABC.
And look, it didn't stop there. When someone posted, "This is all in Project 2025, Carr replied with this meme of Jack Nicholson grinning and nodding. Fun fact, and this is true, the person he was replying to, Artie from Glee. And what a fun detail for historians. I can picture future textbooks now. After the FCC chair took a shit on the First Amendment, he trolled a former Glee cast member on X, a social media platform owned by the richest man in the world and father to most of you reading this.
And Oliver has always famously been very critical of even his own network and their corporate overlords, going after AT&T when they owned HBO. And thankfully, he hasn't been canceled yet. And I want to play you some of his words from last night's show, which if you haven't seen the whole thing, highly recommend go see that. But first, I want to play for you this absolutely brilliant Dutch late night show skit from, I guess this show is called Lubach. And it really speaks for itself, so I'm just going to play it for you.
Alles moet nu gaan zoals Trump het wil. Alles moet MAGA worden. En als je naar de nieuwe plannen van Disney kijkt, dan kun je dat ook wel een beetje zien.
Our nation is changing. In order to ensure the continued provision of high-quality works to our audience, the Walt Disney Company acknowledges the necessity of adapting our content.
We bring you a whole new Disney. Hakuna Matata. There are new stories to be told.
Oh, Belle, you're so hot. If you weren't my daughter, I'd probably be dating you.
I can show you the world.
New songs to be sung.
We don't talk about Jeffrey, no. We don't talk about Jeffrey.
New sequels to timeless classics.
Lock her up!
Okay, now I'm gonna grab you by the pussy. Where is your pussy?
Because not every voice needs to be heard.
Bambi, trans women are women.
You are made out of snow, right?
Yes.
So that means climate change isn't real.
Yeah! Making our company great again with brand new adventures.
I'm gonna go suck Donald Trump's dick.
The new Disney. It's a small world after all.
And huge shout out to that host and that show for doing what is apparently illegal in this country, namely making fun of the president and having free speech. And Oliver here, in these next couple clips that I'll show, did exactly that. First, in this powerful moment, going after the executives themselves, and then after Trump. Take a look.
One day, the history of the time we're living through is going to be written. And when it is, I'm not sure it's those in this administration who are even going to come off the worst. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to come off terribly. But history is also going to remember the cowards who definitely knew better, but still let things happen, whether it was for money, convenience, or just comfort. And I know this is something of a tough sell, and it can be a bit of anathema to risk-averse business leaders. But I will say this, if we've learned nothing else from this administration's second term so far, and I don't think we have, is that giving the bully your lunch money doesn't make him go away, it just makes him come back hungrier each time. They are never going to stop. They've literally said that openly. After Kimmel's suspension, Trump posted, "That leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers," on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. And Carr has hinted that The View might be next. The fucking View.
Which is crazy. Do you know how many middle-aged women would take up arms if you canceled The View?
Did y'all really think we weren't going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons? So you know, no one silences us. And to all my friends in Italy who reached out, you have to know it's okay. We're still here. We're still broadcasting. And when the news broke last week about Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, we took a breath to see if Jimmy was going to say anything about it first. We did the same thing with Stephen Colbert.
And just like The View, you can be damn sure, at least for now, that nobody is silencing John Oliver.
Once Kimmel was suspended, he went on TV to suggest this was actually a spontaneous grassroots movement.
This action today by Nexstar and Sinclair, frankly, it's unprecedented. I can't imagine another time when we've had local broadcasters tell what we call a national programmer like Disney that your content no longer meets the needs and the values of our community. So this is an important turning point.
Okay, everything he just said there is wrong. First, there's actually a long history of local broadcasters refusing to carry national programmes, and it's not an especially pretty one. From a station in the South refusing to carry Sesame Street because it had a multiracial cast, to one that refused to show Ellen's sitcom when she came out as gay. Those decisions don't tend to date well, but more than that, claiming this is simply local broadcasters responding to their community values is pretty hard to take, given that this wasn't a bunch of independent stations taking a stand. It was two of the biggest local TV ownership groups in the country making sweeping decisions for all the affiliates they own. Calling these companies local broadcasters is like describing Coca-Cola as a neighbourhood soda shop or Boeing as a mom-and-pop plane crash business. It makes no sense. Look, the sequence of events here could not be clearer because it was all done in plain view. Carr leaned on broadcasters to take down Kimmel. They did that, sometimes even directly citing Carr while doing so, and then Carr celebrated with a fun gif. That sure seems like a pretty clear case of the government pressuring companies to censor speech. And it is not like even Trump is trying to hide it, as on Thursday he said this to reporters.
Late night host is on network television. There is a licensing. I'll give you an example. I read someplace that the networks were 97% against me. I get 97% negative. And if they're 97% against, they give me only bad publicity or press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. It will be up to Brendan Carr.
Wow. That is probably not something you should say out loud. But then this is a man who doesn't seem to have an internal monologue. In fact, he ended that press gaggle on the plane saying, "Fly safely." You know why I say that? Because I'm on the flight. Otherwise, I wouldn't care. No message has ever entered his head without being delivered through his lips. And look, I'm not the only one who sees a huge problem here. Anna Gomez, now the lone Democrat-appointed member of the FCC, said what the administration is doing violates the First Amendment. And even Ted fucking Cruz, to use his full name, talked on his podcast about concerns regarding what Carr had done while also having some fun with voices.
And I gotta say, he threatens it. He says, "We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way."
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, "Nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it."
Look, let's all agree Ted Cruz is an incredible vocal talent. And he should definitely quit his job right now and go do that instead. But he was actually on his way to making a much bigger point.
I hate what Jimmy Kimmel said. I am thrilled that he was fired. But let me tell you, if the government gets in the business of saying, we don't like what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives.
He's right. He's just right. And I'll say this, I still don't like that man, Ted Cruz. But in this unique clip of news on this one thing, I must admit, he's not completely full of shit.
And look, we are so incredibly lucky here at Really American to be independent, to be funded by your support, and to be on the YouTube platform. But for all we know, this type of censorship will not stop with the FCC and traditional broadcast cable media. Donald Trump is having meetings where Mark Zuckerberg is apparently sucking his dick, allegedly. That's a joke, I made it up. Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, was his butt buddy boyfriend. So what is stopping him from coming after social media platforms like all of the ones that we use to silence all of us? And that is why I would argue that it is more important than ever right now to support independent media, whether that be us, Midas Touch, on Substack, on YouTube. Subscribe, leave a comment, like. Let your voice be heard. I know it's really hard to go out there and live your life when all of this stuff is happening and you are politically cognizant and care about other people. And oftentimes, as many friends of mine have said, they say, you in the comments say, "I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you do this day in and day out." Well, it's because of you guys. And it's because of your support. And my friends have also said, like, "I wish I could do more. I wish I could use my voice, but I'm scared," or "I don't have a platform," or whatever. Here it is. This is your time. This is your chance. Support the work that we're doing. Support other voices that are speaking out. Boycott companies like Disney, like Target, that support this regime or other heinous atrocities in this world. It is a lot easier said than done, believe me, I know. But every single little bit counts, whether it's a subscribe, a blue heart, a donation, a JD Vance baby meme, or my favorite, an FDJT in the comments. Thank you all again for watching. Shout out to John Oliver. Definitely check out the full episode of his show. For Really American, for now at least, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you all in the next one.